It's Teacher Queenie Cantor, and I will be your subject teacher in Health 2.
So good day kids! Welcome to our very first video or discussion in Health 2. So our lesson for today is all about healthy food and body. I believe you are now excited to learn more about the proper nutrition that our body should have. So this PowerPoint presentation is prepared and will be presented to you by yours truly, Teacher Queenie Cantor. So now let's proceed to our class. So please listen carefully, my dear children, because we will now start our lesson in Health 2. So here we have the nutritious food. Okay, so are you also eating nutritious foods? So food, my dear children, is one of the basic needs of every living thing on this planet. When we talk about living thing, it includes us, especially us humans. So we need to eat not just the right food, but the nutritious food, my dear children, because it nourishes the different organs and systems of our body so that people can perform their work accordingly. So it is important that the food that we eat is nutritious because it helps our body grow normally and perform our work accordingly. So that is all about nutritious foods. Next, we have here, my dear children, normally people eat 3 times a day. When we talk about 3 times a day, it is breakfast in the morning, lunch in the noontime, dinner or supper in the evening. And it should be one's self-responsibility to become aware of the nutrients and benefits of the food they eat in each meal. So as humans, to become healthy, we should eat nutritious food 3 times a day also in a balanced diet. So that, my dear children, we can prevent the diseases and sickness that may happen in our body. So we have to become aware of the food that we eat, especially the nutrients that our body needs. Okay? So first is we have here the nutrients, which is very important, is that the carbohydrates. Again, we have here carbohydrates. So here, these are the energy giving foods. Okay, so they give you energy so that you can do and perform your work well. So the two main forms of carbohydrates are sugars and starches. Okay, so carbohydrates again have two main forms. It is the sugars and starches. So this can be found in starchy vegetables such as potatoes, your grains, rice, bread, and cereals. The starchy foods gives us energy and warmth. So again, we have there the nutrient coming from carbohydrates. So the sources of carbohydrates may be your vegetables, starchy vegetable, just like your potatoes, grains, rice. Also, we have breads and cereals, which are rich in carbohydrates that can make us feel energized and warmed. So when we eat food, my dear children, which is rich in carbohydrates, it breaks down or it converts the carbohydrate that we take into sugar glucose, which is absorbed into the bloodstream, meaning that the sugar glucose from the carbohydrates that we have eaten will go into our bloodstream. Okay, so this is where your blood circulates around your body, and that insulin is needed to move the sugar from blood into the cells where it can be used as a source of energy. Meaning, my dear children, if you have eaten your food which is rich in carbohydrates, it will break down into sugar glucose, and that it will go in our bloodstream. And after that, my dear children, we need insulin, because insulin is needed to move the sugar from the carbohydrates to move into the cells now from the blood in our body, where it can be used as a source of energy. So from there, we can use the carbohydrates that we eat as a nutrient in our body by the help of insulin to give us energy or as a source of our energy. So the intake of food rich in carbohydrates should not be less or excessive. Meaning, it cannot be less, hindi siya pwedeng gamay lang. And excessive, meaning, hindi man pwede nga sobra-sobra ang carbohydrates in our body. So, this is to prevent the occurrence of malnutrition. So, if you do not eat foods which are rich in carbohydrates, there is a possibility that you will have malnutrition. You will become malnourished. If you are eating a lot of food rich in carbohydrates, there's a possibility that you will develop also some diseases just like diabetes that will harm the body, okay? So that are the possible complications that your body might get from eating less or excessive carbohydrates, foods rich in carbohydrates. Next is we also have fats. The first nutrients that is needed in our body is carbohydrates. The next one here is fats. Okay? So the body uses fat as a fuel source, and fat is the major storage form of energy in the body. So this is where sometimes we get our energy. Fats in food come in several forms. It includes the saturated, monosaturated, and polyunsaturated fats. So I have here an example of fats, no? So the polyunsaturated, monounsaturated, the saturated, and the trans fat. So we have here, children, the different types of fats. As we said earlier, there is saturated fats, monounsaturated fats, and polyunsaturated fats. So first we have the saturated fats. When we talk about these saturated fats, my dear children, these are fats that are solid at room temperature and can raise your cholesterol, just like for example eating your french fries, hamburgers, fried chicken, the meats, your soft drinks are also part of saturated fats, and that if you eat this all the time, my dear children, what will happen? It will raise your cholesterol, and there's a possibility that it will develop to high blood pressure if your sugar in your blood, okay, so the sugar in your blood will also increase. You also have trans fat. So this trans fat, my dear children, are artificial fats only that are sometimes added to food. So your food example is your donut. So there are trans fat which are added into it, and that it will develop to artificial fats. So however, the FDA or the Bureau of Food and Drug Administration has removed them from generally recognized as safe list, and they should no longer be added to foods. So we will not talk about this trans fat because as FDA said, trans fats should not be included in foods. So we will focus in saturated fats, monounsaturated fats, and polyunsaturated fats. So in monounsaturated fats, my dear children, we have to consume it also in moderation, meaning hagan-hagan lang. And that it can help to lower your cholesterol, unlike eating saturated fats, which can help to raise your cholesterol. So they are also liquid and at room temperature and solid when chilled. Okay, so just like your teas. So that are the examples of your polyunsaturated. Okay, so next here we have, for good health, my dear children, only a moderate amount of fat is needed in the diet. So we have to consume only the moderate amount of fats, and that because too much fat or too much of the wrong type of fat inside our body can be unhealthy and will also lead to other diseases. So good sources of fats, my dear children, we have here some examples: your butter, the oil, the nuts, meat, especially the fish, and some dairy products just like your milk. Okay, and you have your butter there, your chocolates, and it should be taken in a moderate way. There are a lot of food, my dear children, which are rich in protein, but I have here some examples of the foods which are the good sources or the best sources of protein. So we have here just like your beef, the poultry, the fish, the eggs, the dairy products, nuts, seeds, and legumes, just like your black beans and lentils. So we also have here foods in our picture that provide us with proteins. For example, we have here your shrimp, okay? And we also have here your oats, okay? So lentils, we also have it, and broccoli. So are you also eating broccoli? The cheese, the eggs, okay? So your peas, your tofu, chicken, avocado, and we also have there your almonds, your salmon. Your milk is also an example of protein-rich food. You also have there your meat or your beef, the beans, and walnut. Your spinach and mushrooms are examples of best source of proteins. So protein, my dear children, help to build a strong and healthy body. Okay, so we just don't need carbohydrates to give us energy, not just fats to give us the storage of our energy, but we also need protein, okay, to help us fight against the diseases, and that it can make our body more strong and healthy. Especially during this pandemic, you have to eat healthy food so that your immune system inside your body can fight against the different kinds of diseases, especially that you children are very vulnerable to diseases. So you have to eat healthy foods and avoid those saturated fats, okay? So next one we have here vitamins and minerals. So first, let's have vitamins. So vitamins, my dear children, fall into two categories. Again, we have here two categories for vitamins. These are the fat soluble and the water soluble vitamins. When we talk about the fat soluble, my dear children, these are the following vitamins of A, D, E, and K. So again, vitamin A, D, E, and K are what we call the fat soluble vitamins. So the fat soluble vitamins, my dear children, that consist of vitamin A, D, E, and K dissolved in fat, and this can be stored in your body as a source of extra energy. So next is we also have here, so you have there in the picture the vitamins, which are the fat soluble vitamins. So for vitamin E, you can also have your corn. For vitamin A, which is good for the eyes, so rich in carotenoids, so especially your carrots. Here for vitamin K, you also have there your different kinds of leafy vegetables, and in vitamin D, you have there your fruits. Here we have, children, the water-soluble vitamins. So the water-soluble vitamins are composed of the vitamin C and the vitamin B complex. So in vitamin B complex, my dear children, it is also composed of different kinds of vitamin B, including your B6, vitamin B6, vitamin B12, the niacin, riboflavin, and folate, which is need to dissolve in the water before your body can absorb them. So you need a fresh supply of vitamins every day. Okay, so the water-soluble vitamins, just like here, your thiamine, riboflavin. So your thiamine is the B1, riboflavin is the B2, vitamin B2. Your niacin is the vitamin B3. You also have your biotin and your folate. So vitamin B12, vitamin C. So the pantothenic acid, which is the vitamin B5, and the pyridoxine for vitamin B6. So those are examples of vitamins in the water soluble. So when we talk about water soluble, it should be absorbed, or it should be dissolved first in the water before your body can absorb it. So that is why sometimes you are taking a lot of vitamins, right? So example, vitamin C and vitamin B complex. So you need to intake it and together with water so that it will be absorbed by your body. So next to vitamins is we have minerals. So your body needs a larger amount of minerals such as your calcium to grow and stay healthy. So calcium for your bones. Don't worry, my dear children, because in our next topic, we will learn more about the different kinds of vitamins and its examples. Now, let's proceed with minerals. So, you can have your minerals such as your calcium, iron, and potassium, sodium, magnesium, and zinc. So, other minerals just like your chromium, copper, iron, selenium, and zinc are called the trace minerals because you only need to take the very small amount of these minerals each day. Okay, so especially, but you have to take in your calcium and iron, which are also healthy for your bones and for your blood. So we will learn more about that in our next topics. Okay, so you have there your vitamins and minerals boost the immune system to support normal growth and development, and that it helps the cells in our body and in our organs to do their job. So again, vitamins and minerals, okay, so it's very important because it can boost our immune system also to fight against the diseases and any sickness that might happen in our body, against the viruses and bacteria that might affect our lungs and our heart. Okay, so this support normal growth so that you can grow healthy. So thank you so much for listening. God bless my dear children and keep safe always. So see you again in the next and the continuation of our lesson. Goodbye and God bless. So that ends our lesson in Health 2, my dear children, our very first video or lesson in Health 2.